Baroness Bryony Worthington is a crossbench member of the UK House of Lords and an environmental campaigner, and she joins us live now from the COP26 summit. Thanks very much indeed for talking to us today. So we're now nearing the end of the first week. Do you think that enough genuine progress has been made?
So, yes, we're nearly at the end of the first week, and we've seen a lot of announcements. We've had the world leaders here. But behind the scenes, there are negotiations going on with what actually needs to be agreed at the COP. And there has been progress on both fronts. We've seen announcements made on really important sectoral announcements. And the reason sectors matter is because to translate pledges about trying to stay to 1.5 degrees, you have to turn that into actual policies and actual laws, and actual money needs to flow into solutions. So those pledges, though really it matters whether or not they're met, they are a signal that the world is serious about decarbonising and fixing our agricultural systems. So they're very important. They need to now be translated into domestic legislation and policy, but that was one part of it. The second part is what's going on inside the actual negotiating rooms. And there are a couple of very important issues. One is, can we agree the rule book that was negotiated in Paris? There are a few important things there that need to be finalised. But also, probably the hot topic at the moment is, when are we going to see another round of ambitious pledges being required by this treaty? And at the moment, it wouldn't happen for another 5 years. But given that we're not on track, and given the seriousness, a lot of people are saying we need to bring that far further forward and actually be thinking about a review, even annually, but certainly every 2 years.
So, as you say, some commitments, but they need to actually be translated into action and actual policies. How is all this going to be paid for?
So the really amazing thing at the moment, I think, is that over the last 20 years, we've seen progressive countries investing in technologies and bringing the costs down to the point now where clean energy can compete with dirty energy. And so actually, in many cases, you're going to see that actually it pays for itself. You'll be saving money if you do it the clean way. And that's true of electricity generation, but it's also true now of transport. And on Tuesday, we're expecting to see announcements about those commitments to electrifying our transport system, kicking oil out of our engines and moving to a much cheaper and cleaner way of moving around the planet. And those are the sorts of sectoral deals that then translated into policy will get emissions down. And that's what we need to do. Emissions are still rising. We've had 26 COPs. We need to see now actual action bringing emissions down so we can get to a stable climate.
And today's focus is on young people. How much of a role do campaigners like Greta Thunberg have in slowing down climate change?
So it is really important that we give youth a voice. By the time we reach 2050, they'll be my age or even younger. And the important thing for them is that this is their lives that they've got in front of them. We've spent the last 30 to 40 years talking about climate change, but being very slow on acting. And what we need now is to listen to them when they say, with all their passion and all their credibility, we need to speed up. It's on us, our generation. We have the ability to do this. All countries that can afford to change and to implement these measures need to do so very rapidly. And that's why the focus on youth is so important, because this is their future that we're deciding here.
Baroness Bryony Worthington, thanks very much indeed for taking the time to talk to us today.
My pleasure.